This life is a fight. What are you focused on? There will be doubt. Pain, it's inevitable. But when that bell rings, will you be ready? What's going on, everybody? Sorry, having some computer issues here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Spit Bucket Podcast. This is episode 102. But let me tell you, this one will look a little bit different, guys. This one will look a little bit different. Got a lot on my heart that I want to share. And actually, I got some things I need to post up here really quick. So just bear with me. 9 o'clock got here way faster than I anticipated. Those of you guys that don't know, I've got a big kid. I've got a 19-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter, but we also have a 21-month-old baby, and so that's always fun managing around bedtime. So, anyways, guys, obviously, talking today about a tragedy. We're going to discuss that and everything that comes along with it. Sorry, I'm just preparing some stuff, guys. That I did want to share with you guys. So just please bear with me. It'll take me 2 seconds. Anyhow, I'll worry about this in a bit. It's not really that important right now. Almost done, though. Almost done. All right, we're here. Y'all bear with me, guys. As a lot of you guys, if this is your first time tuning in after today's event, this is literally only my second episode as a solo host, so bear with me through the growing pains. But just to remind everybody, the Spit Bucket Podcast is taking on a new direction or additional directions. We're a boxing podcast, but we're focusing on men's health, men's mindset, men's growth, issues that we see that we don't that it's not normal or okay to necessarily talk about. That's been division. And this whole time I've been thinking, how are we going to get there, though? How are we going to get there? How are we going to get to that point? We're a boxing channel, right? Guys gonna come on here when they talk about fights and that type of stuff. And guys, behind the scenes, things are just unfolding, and opportunities. When I say opportunities, in this case, I don't mean like financial and business. I mean opportunities to share my story have just been falling on my lap, connecting with men or little things. Even yesterday, our show with Regis, that was been a week in the works. With Regis, now me working with helping him get his book signing done. That's a book signing. That's a book about life. That's a book about manhood. That's a book about adversity and getting through it. And like now that I get to at least help share the word, like I'm just like little signs like that, guys. So let's backtrack a little bit about why we're here today. Obviously, terrible news. As we're waking up to find out that second year defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. And I hate that I'm describing him as a football player, but that's how you guys grew to know, love, and care for him. Marshawn Kneeland was found deceased as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Before we move on, guys, those of y'all who are new to who don't know anything about boxing, we do have a tradition. It's the first time I do this. But there's a tradition when we lose somebody that's significant or somebody that's important to us, somebody important in the industry. Marshawn, not a boxer, but given the circumstances, and I'll explain more for those of you who haven't been up to speed, but That's a memorial 10 count from Spit Bucket Podcast. Rest in peace. Our condolences and our thoughts are with the family of Marshawn Lynch. I mean, Marshawn Kneeland. Difficult news, guys. The guy, this is difficult news for anybody. But we see him coming off of he scored his first touchdown on Monday. So it just feels different. We felt connected. We felt connected. So it just has a different feeling. We see him getting drafted last year, and the camera's there. So this one, this one seemed to hit a little bit harder. But let's use that to our advantage, guys. Look, like I mentioned earlier, this has always been my goal in my heart to discuss things like this while still talking about boxing. Guys, this is only my second solo episode, and this is so important to me that I might start rambling. So just follow me because I know there's something here. I didn't even want to do this, to be honest with you. Um, but I'm kind of like in listen mode and taking orders mode because I feel like I'm supposed to be here. I feel like I can't say no to doing this today. I was eventually going to eventually start talking about these kind of things, but I kind of wanted to grow into it. And so look, guys, how this morning happened. For those of you that don't know, the Spit Bucket Podcast on our Twitter account, on my Twitter account, the news about Marshawn Kneeland was broken on there. I woke up to that news today. I woke up to that news today. Who and how, that doesn't matter. Uh, it was such a shock, though. It was a shock because what do I do with this news? These folks are telling me for a reason, so I didn't put I put enough thought into it. I asked enough questions. I was able to confirm, but that's heavy, right? That's a heavy thing to discuss, especially when nobody's talking about it hasn't broken yet. So there I am saying, like, why are you getting this? Like, how in the world do I have this insane news? And put it out, and from 7:21 to about 8:30 when the Dallas Cowboys finally broke it. Oh my goodness. People were accusing me of just doing clickbait and lying for clicks and all these are terrible, terrible things. And what they didn't know is that I posted that because there were some details in the text too that I kind of knew how kind of had an idea of how the thing had ended, how he had passed, and I felt the need. I feel so tight. I feel so connected to that subject, mental health, suicide awareness. I felt the need to post it, but then it was difficult for an hour until it finally broke. So I say that to say, why the spit bucket, right? Why the spit bucket? Why do I have that news? Well, I zoom out a little bit and I see what's been so heavy on my heart lately, and that's you guys, and it's anybody who's going through it or who doesn't even realize they're going through it, but they see all the fruits of their life are not what they want them to be, and they have no idea what's going on or anything, man. And maybe somebody needs to hear something. So I felt the tug. And I said, man, let's talk about this. I know this isn't boxing. I know this is a completely different story, but you're right in the mix of it now that you shared that, and you need to talk now. So obviously, my condolences, guys. This is terrible news, and this is the part where it's going to get different. Okay, it's going to get difficult to talk through because I don't really know which route to go. I would first off start by saying, guys, I no. First, I'm going to start with this. My life is a complete 180 than what it was. I am saved. What you guys are seeing now is literally a miracle. Somebody that has gone through so much, and I'm not supposed to be here. Like on paper, I'm not supposed to be here. Um, I tried, guys, so many times prior to 2019 to get my stuff together. Legit tried. Look myself in the mirror, say, your world is burning around you, bud. Over every 6 months, 12 months, whatever, just felt like cycles. I tried and tried and tried and tried. And it just seemed like no matter how much effort the man, the human, put into it, it wasn't getting anywhere until 2019. Look, I've always been a believer, and I know a few of you guys might check out here, and I'm sorry if you do, but I'm going to preface everything we talk about that it, none of this happens without God. And um, I'm kind of going to give you guys like what got me out of the funk and how my life turned around and what I hold. Like, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an author, I'm not any of those things, but I know what I've been through, and I know that it's a miracle, and I know that little miracles have happened. Like, you can't. I'm never going to engage in a "is God real" debate conversation because I know, like, I know my life is the living. So if you don't want to hear about God, and I'm not going to beat you upside the head with God, but what I'm going to say is none of the things that I am going to say is possible without God. If you don't want to hear about that, I invite you to go ahead and continue your evening doing something else. However, if you've always been kind of curious, like, okay, I've always heard I grew up a believer, but my life is in shambles, even though I pray and we have Thanksgiving and we celebrate Easter. If you've been always kind of curious or you don't believe it all, just hear me out. Just hear me out, okay? Um, and I'm not gonna just sit down and tell you my life story tonight. That's for sure either. I'm gonna tell you some things that have happened. I'm gonna connect them to today, and I'm kind of gonna give us um some homework, man, some stuff to start doing in your own life for people who may be going through it, or for people who have a loved one who, man, I don't understand what's going on with my brother or my cousin or whoever. So yeah, I wanted to start off with saying that none of the tools or none of these things work if you have not completely submitted and said, God, this is yours. This is yours. Like, not kind of, well, I'm a believer. I mean, God, this is yours. You're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel guilty saying, I've been doing it my way all these years. And now that I'm rock bottom, God, this is yours. You handle it. No, that's what the word promises us. So test him on it. Test him. Okay. Fully engaged. But anyhow, let's keep going. Guys, God is moving. God is moving. And you might ask, JJ, how are you saying that after today's tragedy? That's a legitimate question. It's a hard thing to say, despite tragedy, guys. I also want to just kind of remind everybody that just because life doesn't go as planned, just because you didn't stay married forever, just because you got fired from your job and had to start over your career, just because you've got a house that's a little bit too big for your salary, like, just because plans change, just because you have to file bankruptcy, just because your son is a homosexual, came out as a homosexual, or your daughter, there's a lot of plans change, right? It's not the way. It's not when life goes opposite of a white picket fence or our fancy corporate job or whatever the case may be, whatever those plans were, and they go opposite of that, triggers tragedy, right? And then everything that comes with that. And we have to realize, man, there's a I forget what this song is. I think it's a John, if it's either Beatles or John Lennon, but life is what happens when we're busy making plans. Okay, follow me. We're all children, kind of. If you have kiddos and when they're 3 and 4, and something doesn't go their way, they go nuts. They go nuts. So as I'm talking, this is how I visualize myself. What I'm talking to you guys is how I talk to myself on my way to and from work. And I'm hoping somebody hears this, okay? And I'm hoping it sticks. If it sticks in just one person, then we've done our job, okay? Um, Geez, I forgot where I was going. Maybe some comments will help. Let me just check some of these comments. Appreciate you, Dan Welly, for reposting the stream. What's up, Al Money? Not a whole lot of comments today. I didn't expect a big crowd because this isn't the fun stuff. This stuff we want to avoid. Anyhow, back to where I was going. Plans changing. Yeah, we have to accept them, guys. Yeah, we. Oh yeah, as I'm talking, we are like children. We're his children. Okay, follow me, please, because I don't want to say something that offends somebody, or if your loved one. I know I was talking to some of his loved ones today, And this goes for anybody who just lost a loved one. I know it might sting, or you might want to punch me in the face when I say God is moving, okay? If you're still with me tonight and you're a believer and you celebrate Christmas and you love Jesus and you pray when you need something and all that, well, that tells me you have to believe in the word and his promises. You have to believe that. So probably one of the harder things to get through as an adult. We believe the good things and the miracles and all of that. We trust it. We celebrate Christmas and it's fun and Easter and all the good things. But guys, everything is his design. All of it, including this morning. And that hurts. How can our daddy put us through this? Think about your 5-year-old when you don't let them have that piece of candy and they're screaming. You think they're just being spoiled, but that's the maximum amount of pain they know. That's the worst thing you can do to them. They're screaming, they're hurting. And you're looking at them like, I just don't want you to get cavities. I just want you to be healthy. I don't want you to get addicted to sugar. That's our design. And we're human. We mess up. We screw up all the time. If you're still following me tonight, that means you're a believer. So I'm talking freely. This is all his design, guys. And what do we know about God? He doesn't make mistakes. It's perfect. It's perfect. I've seen a lot of death in the last 12 months. Just lost a buddy last week. I lost my grandmother in August. I lost my boy. Salute to Joel from Boxing and Barbecue last December. A lot of you guys will know him. And honestly, it was after Joel died that I had this awakening about God's timing being perfect. And I've been able to kind of hold things together a little bit better. But listen, guys, there's more. There's a follow up. I'm not just saying, guys, get over it. God's timing is perfect. Move on. No, we have a task. We have a task. God's not just going to put tragedy and death and pain in our lives for nothing. God is moving. Since Marshawn passed, jump on social media and look at all of the awareness now on men, specifically athletes and men, and mental health. Yes, we lost a good man today. He has his relationships with God, and God had a purpose for Marshawn. And I would challenge anybody to say, look what's happening now. In less than 24 hours, there's all sorts of awareness. You don't think somebody is watching? You don't think people, like multiple people, this was some sort of eye opener? You don't think that maybe this happening to Marshawn either woke somebody up who was going through it, or a family member who said, wow, I should probably pay more attention, because I'm pretty sure they didn't know that Marshawn was going through it. So our task is to find those blessings, is to find what is it, God? Why are you not letting me have these Skittles? We have to ask ourselves, what is it? And then the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God, and then everything else is going to fall into place. That doesn't mean, people are like, well, what if I don't want to seek God? That doesn't mean like just go see God just to say what's up. Just to see if he's got the beard that you always wanted to see, just to see if he got the blue eyes or whatever, It doesn't mean seek God just to watch a movie, guys. We all have our pain. All of us hurt. Seek God to figure out why you're hurting. God doesn't want us to have pain. Seek God first. All things will follow. Seek God through this tragedy. Everything else will start to make sense. When you find the purpose, when you find the reason for the pain, glorify him. Pursue it. Chase it. Guys, 2019 was terrible for me. Sometimes I'll have a little bit of anxiety, panic attacks thinking about it. Sometimes, I can't help it. But it's now the biggest blessing in my life. And that's what I want people to understand. If you're going through it right now, a little bit of tough talk right here. Stop playing victim to this world. This world is meant to punch you in the mouth. It's like going for a sparring session and then bitching because you got punched in the mouth. This world is going to hurt. All right, so let's accept that part first. Let's accept it. Look, guys, I'm going to share a story with you. And my pal, who this story is about, gave me the green light to share it. And I'm not going to give any names, but just listen to how powerful this all is. And like why I'm just like, okay, God, I get it. I'm going to talk about it on the Spit Bucket podcast. This morning, after all of that happened, and this was still before the Cowboys had posted it, my buddy and I were talking about it, and he's just like, man, suicide, right? And he's like, I just don't, and I kind of interrupted him because my buddy has been through it. Everything you can imagine, from difficult upbringing, gangs. I mean like gangs like you see, and I like gangs. Dad in prison, parents on and off of drugs, brother in prison, everything, right? The works. Oh, and by the way, this close to dying from cancer as a young kid. This close from dying as a young kid. Guy's been through it, okay? He lost his brother a year and a half ago. South of the border. You guys know what goes on south of the border. We're going to open that up, but no closure, basically. Those guys got him. No closure. You tell me what that feels like. I'm going to take a step backwards, though. This guy, through all that crap that I described, all that crap, all the darkness, I told you about his childhood, his adolescence. This guy was the positive guy, always smiling, always happy, always loving life, the positive guy in the room, the light in the darkness. He had nothing to be happy about, nothing to be positive about. His parents didn't care where he was. He was out in the streets late, getting in fights, risking his life. But he was happy and positive. You know what that tells me, guys? That was a gift. That's a gift. It's a gift. Like, how else do you explain it? Happy human. Terrible circumstances. That's a gift. You make other people happy. Fast forward, year and a half ago, brother dies. Let's pause right there. This whole episode, okay? This whole conversation tonight is about talking, guys. We need to talk. We need to talk. And this story I'm telling you, it's a result of just one word, okay? I'm going backwards a little bit, and I'm gonna pick back up where his brother passed away, okay? After the Marshawn Kneeland thing, he brought up suicide thing. I said, yeah. And I said one word. I said, bro, I've been on that side. I've been on that side. I didn't used to understand it, but I do now. And I get it. That's all I said. And we got back to doing what we were doing. And then out of nowhere, he's like, JJ, I just have to talk to you, man. I just have to get some things off my chest. And that's where this opened up. So I want to take a second just to highlight that real quick. Imagine you're a dude, right? You and your homeboy are talking. He goes to bring up suicide, and I thought he was gonna, and he clears himself up by saying, no, I wasn't gonna judge it, and you guys will believe me here in a bit why I said that, but I was gonna be quick to defend like what goes on there, like what. So that's why I jumped in. I was like, bro, before you say something else, because I thought he was gonna be judging it, I was like, I've been on the other side. So like put them yourself in that mindset when you're with your homeboys, right? Like when y'all like making fun of stuff or whatever, like it's hard to like step up and say, "Hey, I've been there before. I wanted to end my life before." That's a hard thing to say. I can say it easy now because I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of I'm not I don't feel shame. I'm not ashamed of that. Used to be, hell no, I wouldn't talk about that. What are they gonna think of me? They're gonna think I'm a psychopath, I'm an attention whore, I'm a narcissist. No, but no. In 2019 and before that, there was many a time where I wanted to end my own life. And all I did was tell my homie that. Bro, I was on the other side. I was on the other side of that, and I understand now. I spoke up instead of hiding it. And what did he do? He immediately opened up everything. And here we are. Brother passed. And JJ, I'm not happy at all. I feel darkness. I feel my heart is cold. All understandable, all legitimate feelings. Those are real life feelings. But they do nothing when you bottle them in. They only cause isolation, depression, and in this case, the thoughts, the terrible thoughts, the dark thoughts, the thoughts of ending your life. And he was able to speak them up. And we talked about it. Let me tell you what I got out of this, guys. And I want y'all, if y'all are going to be tuning into this channel, we need to be able to zoom out when it's time to zoom out and zoom in. What do you see? Look at this timeline. Young man, light in darkness. Brother dies. And then he's depressed and he's had ugly thoughts. This is where it gets good, guys, when you realize it. Like I said, God designs everything. The devil doesn't design his death, but you know what the enemy does? The enemy manipulates things. The enemy manipulates things to steal your gifts, to steal your joy, to steal your light. And that's exactly what happened here. That dude has a gift. It's gone. It's not gone. It's hidden. He feels it's gone. Enemy's trying to make him believe it's gone. And now that the gift is gone, he has terrible thoughts. Let's take it a step further. He finally ended that cycle that he was coming from. The Bible says the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He wants everybody back in that cycle. So let me use a death that happens to 100% of the humans that have ever lived and 100% of the humans that will ever live. Death, like the sun coming up in the morning and it going down at night. Death. He uses death, something that we all go through, to make, in this case, my buddy, feel like man, man, my brother died. My brother died. Now I'm gonna go back to my old ways. He's not saying that. I correct it. But he knows it's dark now. He's not feeling that joy. And then the cycles begin. What if he's a less involved dad because of this darkness and this dryness? Or what if God forbid, and I know he won't, because we're locked in now and we're gonna stay prayed up and we're gonna keep talking. But what if God forbid he didn't have that conversation and it ends? What happens to his children and their children? And guess what, folks? We're right back in the cycle. There is an invisible war going on. I know the title of this episode is Invisible Battles. Those are the invisible battles. I'm referring, in this case, invisible battles we have with ourselves, right? But zoom out. There's invisible war going on for one soul at a time. Yours, mine, they're that precious. You might think, why am I so important? You're that damn important. You ever seen a lady with 10 kids and loves all of them exactly the same? We are that damn important, guys. Especially you men. Us men are a foundation of our family. Our baby girls need to see how women need to be treated. Our boys need to see how to treat a lady, how to love, how to talk. I have so much more to say about how we talk to our kids, guys. But today was specifically about this. And man, I feel like I've been rambling, guys. And I'm sorry if I have. And I don't know who all going to listen to this. I had some notes. All right. Okay. Things to look for. I was talking to my mom about this. You might see somebody who, like, for example, I've heard from so many people today that had not, they were so shocked. I didn't see the signs. Guys, I know a lot of times when we think of somebody who's suicidal, we think of like what we pictured in the 90s, some goth looking person who's got their arm. No, man. We all have our battles. I was talking to my mom today, and we're talking about the days where I was a heavy drinker, right? And my mom was like, because I believe Marshawn had been drinking. If not, I'm sorry, but and she was like, it breaks my heart how alcohol just ruined so many lives and stuff. And we got to talking about alcohol, and I had to remind her. I said, Mom, yeah, you looked at me from the surface, looked like I had a problem with alcohol, right? Or drugs or anything, lusting, everything. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get real on here. Y'all are gonna know my truth. But it wasn't. It's that all of the things we see, guys, are symptoms. Focus too much on the symptoms. Everybody wants to know the details of what happened with Marshawn. Those are just symptoms, guys. Drinking too much, symptoms. Always wanting to party, you're hiding something, man. Symptoms. If you know somebody who's like, man, that guy always has to be drinking, he doesn't look depressed. They're symptoms. I used to tell myself, JJ, you're not an alcoholic because you don't drink when you're depressed or when you're sad. You, you have parties, you have people at your house, you have bottle service, you have big parties. So you're not an alcoholic. You're a social drinker. No, man, I was masking something I didn't even know was there. The cocaine. Masking something I didn't know was there. No, this is fun. Woo! No way I'm depressed. Look how much fun he's having. I'm only sharing this with you guys. Again, I'm not getting it from a book, giving you what I wish this guy was standing next to me the whole time for my whole life. All of these things are symptoms. Um, Screaming at your wife, screaming at your kids disobeying, they're all symptoms. We have to be we we, we treat parenting and husbanding and living too like basic, dude. Like if our jobs are hard, like this is life. If you're raising kids, you're raising kids. You're building up children to enter the world. So that means they need daily management. You need to stay on them. Where's your mind? Ask your kids what's going on up here. It's okay to talk about it, guys. Look, man, I feel like I'm a little bit rambling. I'm gonna hit some notes. I felt today was gonna be rambling, and I'm sorry. I have so much on my heart right now that I got to be careful just not to try to dump it all on one episode. I wanted to be on about half hour. Couple of things I do want to hit though. We When you look at somebody like Marshawn, the first thought is, wow, he had everything. He's second round draft pick, playing for America's team. And let's zoom in a little closer. He scored his first career touchdown on Monday. If you're not a skills position and you score a touchdown, you understand how significant that is. Only touchdown of my whole football career came as a defensive end. And that's huge. So that tells me that on the surface, Marshawn should have been ecstatic with life. Second year in the league, making a name for himself, scored his touchdown, living the life, making his mom happy. His mother passed away last year he got drafted, and he dedicated his career to her on top of the world, right? No. His girlfriend knew he had mental battles, but the rest of the world didn't. Marshawn, I don't know. I can't speak for him, but what's that pressure we feel as dudes, especially if you're a big ass football player? You think Marshawn gonna come out and talk about his feelings? No. He'll drink. He'll drink until he can't feel them no more. And even if he's smiling and being happy and stuff, but those feelings are temporarily masked. I'm only telling you guys that because the happiest people, the happiest people are going through it. This is way more of an issue of just sharing a Facebook post or sharing a tweet that says, hey, you can holler at me. No, this means you might need to make the initiative. You might need to say, hey, are you good, man? I'm here for you. And not just that, don't be afraid to share some truth. Had I not said the word, bro, I've been on that side before and I understand, to my buddy, he wouldn't have shared his. So if you see somebody that could be in pain, if you see a red flag, guys, it's important. It's important to go try to dissect the conversation, or the situation, and ask, do you need help? I've been through that before. It gets better, buddy. God's planning on using you. So I told my boy, you have a gift that the enemy so blatantly tried to rob. So go get it back and then start your assignment. Go change the world one life at a time. This is a terrible tragedy that happened today, guys. But I don't believe for a second that we only feel pain not to and nothing grow out of it. That's impossible. There's no way. There's already so much good coming from this tragedy. But if you're going through it, if you've lost a loved one, if your loved one's sick or whatever the case, guys, just try your best to remember what God promised us. What we call tragedy, not always tragedy, man. It feels like it. When I lost my cousin a few years ago, cousin Ernie, the way I saw it was he was going to a tropical island in paradise. And the best place, he's never going to be sick again. He's never going to hurt again, never feel any pain. But he left his cell phone at home. And he can't come back and get it. And we can't ship him anything because there's no mailman out there. And we just can't never talk to him while we're here again. But we could remember him. And we'll miss him, yeah. And one day we'll go to that same island. But it's not so much, it hurts, it stings, it hurts. You have to mourn, you have to grieve. But you take that pain, and what am I supposed to do with it? To my buddy, why is it being robbed from you, bro? What are you supposed to do with this gift that they're working so hard to take it from you? Go fight that battle, man. I'm right. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure I hit all these notes. I wanted to make sure I got everything that was on my heart. Yeah, guys, that's about it. I did have one more note. Let me share this from last night. We did have Regis on, and I just want to play this quick video. When regular folks hear world champs say, man, I'm going through it, they say, oh, well, you're famous and you're a world champ.
That shit don't mean nothing, bro.
Thank you. Yeah, let's talk about that.
I saw somebody say on my thing, they was like, bro, you got everything. But I promise, bro, it don't really mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, even you go through, matter of fact, when you got everything, you go through worse stuff, to be honest. I've been poor and I've been rich. So, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, you do have more problems. Like when you broke and you got no money, it's way easier. Like
just wanted to throw that up because I think that's relevant today. It's relevant because, again, this guy was on top of the world. So we think. But he had his own battles, guys. He's been struggling. His girlfriend said he's been struggling. And it's heartbreaking. It's all of our jobs to love each other, guys. It's all of our jobs to look out for each other. And the fellas, I'm talking to you now. It's our job to not be our football coach and not be our dad. My dad, first of all, my dad was a badass. And I'm thankful. If Dad, you're watching, I love you, man. And when I say these things, it's what I've observed at the gyms. And since I've been involved with boxing in the spit bucket, it's grown tremendously, this passion, because not only if I feel like I'm talking to men, but if I'm talking to the men, I'm hoping that it affects their children. And we can start to see, man, we can start to see men coming together instead of being so damn tough, dog. You don't gotta be so tough. Let's talk, man. Tell me what's hurting you. I'll tell you what's hurting me. And how can we work together and use our life experience to take that pain up a little bit and not only remove some of that pain, to go do some good. That's what the Spit Bucket Podcast wants to bring to you guys. One more time, my thoughts and prayers, condolences to Marshawn Kneeland and everybody who he touched, and everybody, all his loved ones. Like I said, I engaged a little bit with one of his close friends who was actually there at the draft night, and man, he's heartbroken. But there is another side of this. Marshawn's this tragedy won't go in vain, and it's up to all of us guys to keep the conversations going. Look, they're finally paying attention to men's mental health on the social medias. Let's take advantage of it. Let's not make this some temporary 2-day event that goes away. Let's build on this, fellas. God is moving. We need strong men. Your kid needs strong men. Your wife needs a strong man. Let's go build each other up. Guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry for rambling. I hope something sunk in with somebody today. Much love. Again, thoughts and prayers to the Kneeland family. And guys, I mean this with all my heart too. If you're going through anything, the DMs are open all the time. I'm gonna open up a phone line on here too, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna have open calls on here. So much love. Thank you guys for tuning in. What's to come? We'll be doing Virgil Ortiz weigh-in tomorrow. We'll have a bunch of interviews tomorrow. A Kid Austin interview tomorrow. Regis Prograde book signing Saturday morning, and then we'll be covering the fight Saturday night. So everybody tune in for all the latest boxing news. But thanks again for tuning in and for listening to this crazy subject, guys. Let's work together and let's build each other up. Y'all have a great night. I love you guys. This life is a fight. What are you focused on? There will be doubt. Pain, it's inevitable. But when that bell rings, will you be ready?